Okay. Hello everyone. It's your favorite programming error that just refuses to be fixed, CodeErr. And welcome back to reading. Yes. Don't jump scare you? Well, I just did. Hi, Spinne. Congrats on being first. Sorry I stole first on Gabe's stream. I am sorry. Actually, I'm not. But yeah, hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. You still over there on Gabe's stream watching Hades? Or nah? You also more of a lurker there? I don't know, you tell me. Anyway, RetroSpecter, today we're finishing this mod, I've heard. You ready for that? You ready for us to finish? Can you believe that? Started watching because I still haven't played the latest story. Fair enough, fair enough. I care about Hades. Alright then. So, we finished all the lore stuff and over half of the sections in the art category. Now, finale is up next. These 5 sections here are the last little bits that we have to get through. So let's see what we got. The very first sketch concept for Pendalumbra. I always wanted to add a Virtue to Versus Retro Part 2, whether it was a bonus song or part of the story, sort of as a teaser that there's more than just hell in my universe. Unlike most of the new characters in Part 2, she is 100% original design and not adopted from a different artist. I sent my concept artist some screenshots from an Eastern-themed VR chat world and showed them some characters like the dragons from Zelda Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, with a light Draenei from World of Warcraft to start off with. Well, that's the lore. Finished metaphor, absolute cinema. I've heard you both mention it in my Discord and talk about it on Gabe's stream. And the fact that you recommended more than the Persona franchise, which coming from you is very high praise, considering how desperate you were to get me into Persona. You have definitely piqued my curiosity about metaphor, I will say. Once we had a design in place, it was on to refining how she would look. I wanted sort of a counterpart to the Infernaling of Wrath, but not evil since Atrocian already exists. I decided making her Retro's biological sister would make for some really interesting story beats and help flesh out him and his family backstory some more. I ended up giving her 2 heads as a sort of an in-between Retro's Phase 1 and Phase 4. Huh. Alright. Once we figured her design out, it was on to giving her a full body. I wanted her to have robes sort of like a monk, since she was going to be a gatekeeper, but for Providence, my world's heaven. I felt it made sense for her to carry a book and quill around so she can write and cross off who enters and leaves Providence. And then we have the sprites. Sketch concept for Pendulumbra's directional sprite poses. Since there were 2 heads involved, I wanted her to have 2 unique singing voices, one calm and one rasp. This would also mean that she'd need 8 unique poses like Maku does. Since she's related to Retro, I wanted her to have a similar body shape and features to show they're at least somewhat similar or related in some way. Nice. Robes? Bombs? Except he sells ropes with a P. You got it? It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rubies. A close-up sketch concept of Pendalumbra. The idea is that one head is the main head, resembling the Urge of Patience, but the other is a grim reminder of where she came from, and has a chipped horn and messy hair to show damage and a bit more sinister side to the character. Oh, concept for another virtue? A concept what-if idea for a chastity character! So this is our first glance at some of the other virtues. Before Pendalumbra, way back in late 2021, it was originally going to be Sakuroma's counterpart that you'd fight. But since I decided on only one virtue, I think showing patience and the gates outside the city made for a better reveal for that part of Inferno Dice. Okay, so this is what Sakuroma's sister Chastity would look like. Or a concept of her at least, not a finalized design. Why not? Another concept / what if of Chastity drawn by one of our animators. Another concept / what if of Chastity drawn by one of our animators. Pendulumbra's final reference / design. Once I figured out how she'd look, I went through several different hair color palette ideas before deciding on this one. Purple and brown are one of my favorite color combinations, and since I didn't have any characters based around the color brown yet, I decided she'd be the one to have this palette. I also found out that brown resembles patience, so I felt it fit even more, and added that as a lore reason as to why she doesn't match the same color as her brother. Some may find the color difference confusing or unfitting, but I think it sets her apart more than just being a female retro. Plus, there's always how she looked before she became Patience. Alright. And who you? Lunacent, the Assistant of Kindness. This was another character I adopted early on and wanted to place somewhere in Providise as a little teaser / word building. Much like how the Infernalings have a second-in-command / assistant, the other virtues do as well. This would also mean she could spread gossip about what happened in the event of the mod to the other Provenites. Not with bad intent, but because she's honest. Oh, that is a lot for death. Who could have seen that coming? You smell? Sketch concept for Nightflade's poses for the Death Toll segment of her song. Originally, she wasn't going to have unique poses for each different part of the song she sang, but our sprite artists wanted to challenge themselves. With the help of our main concept artist and an extra artist, most of the poses were done in a little over a month. Huh. Ballistic part. Sketch concept for Nightflade's poses for the ballistic segment of her song. The idea behind Nightflade copying all these poses was to show how long she has been observing Boyfriend through different dimensions. I also wanted to go in sort of a chronological order with the references. Ballistic was one of the first major mods to release after base game. I also chose songs that meant a lot more to me personally. Considering, you know, it's one of the bigger remixes he did as well. Thunderstorm part, alright. Sketch concept for Nightflade's poses for the Thunderstorm segment of her song. I was debating on including Thunderstorm in the medley since God Eater came first and is the final song in Shaggy's mod, but it didn't really fit too well into the song, and I like Thunderstorm more, so we went with that instead. Fair, very fair. I like Thunderstorm more as well. Triple Trouble. Sketch concept for Nightflade's poses for the Triple Trouble segment of her song. Since Triple Trouble is such a long song, figuring out the right moment to include in such a short amount of time was a bit tricky. I then talked it over with our other musician and decided for him to combine two parts of the song that Nightflade and BF sang back and forth together at the same time. Dad Battle, of course. Sketch concept for Nightflade's poses for the Dad Battle segment of the song. Naturally, to start off, Dad Battle felt like it'd be the best bet. I also went with FNF songs I actually remixed in the past, and since Dad Battle was my first FNF remix, I decided to start Nightflade with this part. Makes perfect sense. And we have Genocide. Sketch concept for Nightflade's poses for the Genocide segment of her song. No lore for this one. Shame. Sketch concept for Nightflade's health bar icons. Sketch concept for Nightflade's poses for the Expurgation segment of her song. Wow, why did those two not get any unique, like, exposition out of all of them? Idle. Idle sketch after Nightflade begins her medley section of extirpation. While referencing poses of other mod characters, we decided to give Nightflade two unique idle poses, a standing idle and a floating idle. This was to minimize the amount of extra poses the artists already had to draw, since they already had to do so much and it ended up working out pretty well. And release. Sketch concept for Nightflade's pose for the release segment of her song. Also, no lore on this. Shame. Also, High Viking. Yeah, they all did make it into the song, but still, why is it only those three? only genocide, expurgation, and release that don't have additional info on them. Shame, shame. Especially because release is clearly the peakest of peaks of the song. Sketch concept for Night Flight's neutral expression portrait. Concept for what Night Flight looks like without her clothes on. This is canon for the most part, though I may tweak the patterns on her legs a bit in the future. Naked character alert! You know, in case anyone wanted to see. Have much to yap about in terms of poses. Fair enough, I guess. Border markings are easier to count into the black area. Alright. This is what the pattern on Night Flight's chest looks like. It was given to me by the original artist to help the plushie designers understand her pattern more when making her plushie. And going for nudity. Of course, she's pussy is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Night Flight's main reference sheet. This is one of my most favorite characters I've ever adopted, so I wanted to give her a major role in my universe. I ended up making her a mad scientist / agent of chaos, because I felt it fit her design the best. She's one of the biggest reasons for the events of what goes on in the mod, and I really wanted to reflect that in her personality and her music. And by also giving her own animated segment similar to Phase 4 Retro, I felt she would be a good climax for the mod, for the end of the mod, despite her not even being the most powerful character in my universe. This was to show how powerful her rank is, along with the other 3 Infernal Lords. I wonder if we'll get to see some sneak peeks of the other 3 Infernal Lords. I mean, we saw a little bit of them, we saw a little bit of their character portraits, so I wonder if there's more in here as well. A sketch concept of Night Flight's cameo appearance in Sakuroma's exterior stage. I wanted to tease that she was in the crowd observing from afar before the players even knew she was the big baddie at the end of the mod's story mode. Sketch concept for Night Flight's GF companion skin. No speakers needed for someone who can float. A doodle in between mod work showcasing Night Flight's features. She has thorned vines she can use to constrict her subjects if they misbehave or act out of line. You see it a little bit in her cutscene, but it isn't used much in gameplay. This is because it was a newer ability I gave her further into her development. Alright. A concept / warm-up doodle of Night Flight in the FNF style before the concept artist began drawing her sprites. Ooh, attack animations! A concept / what-if idea for Night Flight animation to play when you hit her def / scythe notes. There was also an idea for this to be a spacebar dodge mechanic, as seen in some other FNF mods, but unfortunately, we didn't have time to add it on top of all the unique poses Night Flight already has, so this idea was never implemented. Shame. Still, good stuff. More nude Night Flight! Another ref concept of Night Flight without her clothes, this time showing the back. The front of this is a little more outdated compared to the previous one she shown here in the gallery, but the back is still fairly accurate. Because everyone wanted to see her rear. Oh, what do we have here? Is this war? Is this our first really good look at war? Okay. Very early / scrapped concept of war, aka Retro's father. War being Retro's father was always planned, so I really like the idea of a horseman of the apocalypse having one of the 7 deadly sins as a son. This would make for some interesting story beats, since it shares similarities with the Dearest family and their issues they have with their daughter's relationship. Another early / scrap concept of war, showcasing the type of armor he could have. While I liked this concept, I felt it was a bit too bulky and made him a little goofy with the shoes and body type. I did end up keeping some aspects from the armor and belly mouth though. A concept of the skull that Retro stands on when the finale in story mode is initiated after beating Phase 2 Sakuroma. Originally this was never planned to be in the mod, but since I wanted Pendalumbra and Night Flight to be part of the official story, we got an edit of the character select screen with this asset that you could choose to go back into story mode and replay. I also wanted to include Mixter, but I worried that it might have been a bit too much and would have been hard to figure out a place for him in the character select menu. Fair enough. And this is the scroll thing that we went through, right? So that's the Infernal Lord Queen. Interesting. Followed by the 4 Infernal Lords, which represent the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Death, War. I assume this one is Famine because of the visible, visible ribcage. And then this would be Pestilence. Then, of course, we have the 7 Deadly Sins. We know them. We go up. Then we go, yeah. This is Infernal Lands. Then we have the gate. And then we have the gate into Providence. And for Providence, we don't see much beyond the gate. Like here, we see a little bit of the cityscape. I mean, we kind of see in the background. Then we have the virtues. We know up front and center is patience. I assume the pink one is probably chastity. So Sakuroma's counterpart. Hard to figure out the rest of them without knowing anything more. I mean, green is generally what I'd associate more. I mean, that's just the Undertale brain talking, that associating green with kindness and everything might not be. Honestly, I have no idea which one of the remaining virtues is which. Okay, then we have the lords up here. I think it was mentioned what these 4 heavenly individuals are called, but I don't know if there is a biblical counterpart to the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, or if that was something that was improvised. My Bible knowledge is failing me. And then the king and the observer, which we've heard about. Oh man, where to begin with this? I wanted a giant mural of my universe, so I commissioned it. I wanted a really long cutscene panning in different directions, showing my entire world, teasing all the characters I have, and showing that, despite the mod being over, the journey outside the mod has only just begun. I'd love to continue Infernadize, whether it's through comics, animatics, artwork, music, or maybe even my own game someday. Right now, though, I'm extremely tired and have no plan to do anything for a bit after this mod. I just want to take it easy for a bit and figure things out later. But I wanted to keep the doors open for the possibilities of anything happening. One thing I can tell you though, part 3 is not happening. If I ever were to continue this, it won't be through this mod. Well, there's the confirmation. Also, hi Eric. This came from making out with Monica on the art and how you're ordering. Well, that's something interesting to say as you come in here. Anyway, hope you're well. I noticed you uploaded part of my stream VOD to your channel because you couldn't be bothered to wait for me, which is fair. You know, again, my stream VODs take about 2 months before they're up on YouTube, so I understand why you uploaded it to your channel. After all, you gotta show off the mod you made, right? So yeah, in case you were curious, I don't mind you uploading that chunk of my VOD. In fact, I support it. But yeah, that just reminds me of how hyped I am for the future of that. Alright, Code remembered Duet Night Abyss, that one gacha game that removed their character gacha but still has a skin gacha, yeah, 7 Deadly Sins, and the one based on Patience has an ability to her kid where she gets really mad. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, Patience getting mad, weird. There's the part 3 because how long this one took. It would kill Retro. It would absolutely kill him. Horrible. Stereo. Fan art from one of our sprite artists for our DJ character Mixter. When he was adopted, he was originally called Stereo. Huh. You would kill him. The mod would kill him before you could kill him. The mod would kill him before you could, I have a feeling. Restart charge attack. Mixer's official reference sheet. This was the second character design I ever adopted. Name is a combination of Mix, Stir, and Mixter. A reason why I added him to the mod was to have some more character variety, plus I really like the TV head characters and wanted to have one in my mod. Sketch pose concept for Mixer. This was an idea from our concept artist to keep the animation and poses simple, since he knew it was going to be a bonus character for the mod. A sketch concept / doodle of what Mixer looks like from behind. When Mixer was being sprited, we noticed his coattails, giving one of the animators trouble with the perspective. So the artist drew this as a better reference. Oh, alright. A sketch concept of Mixer holding a small towel with a heart on it. The reason there's a heart on it is because he was originally going to be a bartender for Lustler Sakuroma instead of I number 13. I know 13. All remixes and cameos were going to be on Saku's stage, sitting in the front seats, but I quickly realized that might cause issues with adding certain cameos into Sakuroma's adult club, so I decided to give him his own area and story instead. I don't care enough. Who will win? If you mean that one if you mean the screen guy from the Helloverse, I think that one is specifically from Has-Been Hotel and not Hell of a Boss. But same universe, I know what you mean. And I don't know shit about Tenna. I just know it's a character, and I've seen the design from Deltarune Chapter 3, and I refuse to let you tell me anything about Tenna and his abilities, because I still haven't played Deltarune Chapter 3, and anyone who spoils me will get instantly banned. Finished concept of Mixer if he was still a bartender of Sakuroma's establishment. Nah, you didn't even mention anything. I already heard the name. I already heard of the name and saw the character. Because YouTube recommendations are the absolute worst. Fuck YouTube. No matter how many times, every time something Deltarune related pops up, I'm always like, I'm not interested in this. I always click, I'm not interested in this. You think that stops YouTube from giving me Deltarune suggestions? You think that stops that stupid piece of shit website from suggesting Deltarune stuff to me? Even though I've said dozens of times I don't want to see that shit. I hate YouTube. Don't we all? I meant metaphor to me while I was still in the middle of playing it. That is lucky. Sketch concept of BF and GF finally reuniting in Mixer Spa after the events of Infernidize. Daddy Dearest initially looked shocked, but I wanted him to look more angry instead, which is represented in the final version. I also wanted GF and BF to have a happy ending, even if it's a bit cliche, since this isn't their universe. They were just part of it, stopping by, and always planned for them to get back to their world. I figured Dad picking them up scenario would be funny, and it fit best. Alright. Let's play the new chapters. Chapter 5 instantly when it drops too. Yes! Here's the thing, maybe if I wait until the full release is out, I'll have forgotten whatever spoilers I've been exposed to. Look at them. Out of the IPU crowd, cheering Maku.exe on during her segment in the Septuple Trouble remix video. On the left are Razor, Shibachichi, and Kamex. On the right are Wolfrath Knight, Bones the Skelebunny 01, and Lily Clippy-chan. Maybe I should, but I won't. Bones? Yes, it's Bones is dead it. It's our Bones. Thumbnail art for Kamex's Frostbite remix. The chromatic uses Ace's voice in place of gold. In this image, he's halfway between transforming into isolation due to being jumpscared by Frikachu. Blastoise is there because Kamex is the Japanese name for Blastoise. Kamex also has a song in his mod called Frostbite. Key art for the Septuple Trouble remix video. While I've personally never been too much into .exe stuff, I do appreciate horror and horror designs because of series like Resident Evil, Bioshock, etc. I've seen some really cool designs from the community, so my main concept artist drew their take on how my characters would look in a horror format. The reason why it's not the 7 Infernalings is because this remix was made before their music and chromatics existed, so I had to use what characters were available to me at the time. We were able to squeeze in Dozer.exe in the Death Toll remix at the very least, but there's no design for Insation, Hivemind, and Atrocious yet. Okay. Concept pixel art for Sonic and Mixer's Bar. Sonic is one of my favorite characters, so I knew I had to include him in my Gospel and Pico remixes, which feature samples and sound fronts from his games. When I was a kid, I sprained my wrist climbing over a baby gate to play Sonic 2 when I was 4 years old. I don't remember much other than the fact that the air around me started to get so cold. Oh boy. Me with Me-Side. And with the worst scene to be introduced to a game with, imagine not knowing anything about it and seeing the scene where the capitals on the vibrator using for a micro. Yeah. Wow. But yeah, the microphone moment is definitely one of the most funny moments in Me-Side. Oh, Mommy Mirrors was supposed to be... concept sketch art for Mommy Mirrors cameo in Me and Kamix's MILF remix. The idea behind the bar cameos was if the remix either referenced or used a sample, the cameo would be featured in the bar during that song. This was so that the players could have something slightly different to look at while playing through all the remixes the mod has, and maybe get excited about who could appear in the next remix played. Fair, fair. Concept art sketch for Fun-Size Sakuroma's Christmas Sprites for the Coco remix. She would have been a playable skin, yes! But that would have meant we'd have to make misposes and a death sprite for her. Normally this isn't a problem, but the mod already had so much, so we had to draw the line somewhere. Plus the team was tired and the mod was already pretty far into development by the time the sprite was added. No! Still upset that she's not playable. Very upset. Concept art for the Path of Patience. While less flashy and much smaller than the RAF Ramparts, I wanted a light teaser of Providence to be shown to people in this mod. Providence is much more vast than the Gates show, but that's not to be revealed in this mod or any future updates. Some towers were also added in the background to show off other landmarks and other virtues/Providence. Concept art for Night Flate's Infirmary, part hospital, part morgue. The stage was loosely inspired by areas such as the hospital in Super Meat Boy and Demonologist. I wanted an organized, clean hospital with body bags added to balance it out with some filthiness. You can also see in this image that the reflection perspective is wrong, before me and some other team members realized it was not how reflections work. Sketch concepts for the cameos in the Septuple Trouble remix. Due to popular demand, I did want to originally make a fully playable Septuple Trouble stage with animated sprites, but the further we got into the mod's development, the more I realized it cost too much time and money. I think what we did end up doing with the final stage, though, was a nice substitute for it. Sans! Concept art sketch for Sans' portrait. To make things easier on our artists, I made sure no cameo would have dialogue, and that only Mixer or the player were the ones talking to each other. Sans appears in the Manifest remix due to the Megalovania guitars, and because of all the issues/controversies with Sky over the years, I decided not to include her. This is why Sunday is there, since they share chromatics. Sans was a fun little teaser Easter egg. A fun little Easter egg. 1A too many, to add to the already huge sea of content this mod has. And I tried to write him as accurate as I could. Hopefully I did him some justice. Sketch concept for Mixer's neutral portrait. Since he's a servant to Night Flate and almost like a butler, I gave him a smug but polite attitude. Concept art for Daddy Dearest cameo in the Dad Battle remix. I figured that the best way to send my mod off for good was to end it with the very first remix I started that got me into the game and the community at the time. Plus the remix accidentally sounds perfect for a credits theme, so I went for a staff role with animated pixel art of the core team while the remix plays. I also felt BF Story was a nice juxtaposition to Retro Story at the very end with the key art for both families, which is another reason why I included the Daddy Dearest here. Minus! Alright, we're approaching the end. We've made it to minus! RetroSpecter! RetroSpecter's official design/reference. I'm a big fan of Lago's Minus universe. For those unaware, it's basically taking the health bar icons from FNF's HUD and turning them into full characters. One of my concept artists was bored one day and decided to make a Minus RetroSpecter. They gave Retro a football jock design, and despite me not being a big fan of sports, I loved it so much that I decided to create an entire universe based around it. Ah, a fellow sports hater. Concept sketch poses for Metro's directional sprites. With IPU, I wanted to play hard into the college stereotypes, so I embraced Metro's design and made him a cocky, smug jock. The poses were then made to fit his personality. Yo! Girl Metro! Not mod related, just a doodle of a female Metro by one of our concept artists in between mod tasks. It's fine, I just made a whole other universe. Yeah, I know, right? Insane how crazy some people can be. Like Retro. Sketch concept for the IPU crowd. The idea was that two of the Infernalings would be commentators. Metro and Maku would be on the field fighting the F, and the rest would be in the stadium seats. Once that was established, our concept artist began creating minus designs for most of the original dev team. Line art of the IPU football field. Since Retro was a jock, I immediately knew what his stage had to be. So we settled on a football field showing off the crowd and part of the grass they would face on. Since we were no longer in hell, we could use the open sky to create day/night cycles as we progressed in the story. Concept art sketches for Metro's directional poses in the song Finals Week. This is one of the very few sprites that isn't at the traditional angle in the mod. I honestly really like the non-traditional angles for FNF sprites, and I wish we had done more of them for the mod. The mod is very old, however, so by the time most sprites were done, I hadn't considered doing different songs at different angles. Metro's Dev Sprite concept in Finals Week. Another set of Dev Sprites we had to make since the song used a unique camera angle. The song is pretty easy too, so not a lot of people will see the sprites in full, unfortunately. We might have to check them out, or I'll just do it on my own time, depending on how this goes. Very first concept of the IPU football field, before we even had our own versions of -GF and -BF. Maku's concept was finished by this time, though. One of the first art concepts for the IPU updates YouTube thumbnail, based on the "you should KYS now" meme as a reference. Miss Sprite concept for Metro in Finals Week. Update, mixing a Christmas, or should I say Glitchmas? It'll be the best Christmas present ever. Honestly, so soon already? It feels like Volume 1 only dropped recently. I will absolutely adore that as a Christmas present, but please take all the time you need in order to cook. Because I do know that cooking up good songs takes time. Merctro's official design/reference, aka Metro's Phase 2 Zerktro form. While we had considered it throughout the mod's dev span, we originally didn't plan on adding Merctro to the mod, but we saw enough desire from fans that he was a last-minute inclusion. People also expected Pico to appear somewhere in our mod, so our concept artist designed a minus version of him, and we made them play as Miko to find Merctro, 2 birds with 1 stone. Merctro's sketch concept for his directional sprites. Unlike Zerktro, who has learned to control his second form better, Merctro is under the influence of drugs and 10 years younger than Metro. Because of this, I want to make sure his poses were a little more animalistic than Zerktro's, like a muscular jock on steroids. Sketch concept of Merctro before his finalized design. Another sketch concept of Merctro before his finalized design. A full body sketch concept for Merctro before his finalized design. This is honestly pretty close to the one we went with, but I decided to give him a bit of fat to show that the drugs he was taking had some flaws and it wasn't just pure muscle with no repercussions. That's why he became fat. Another concept of Merctro drawn by one of our animators before we finalized his design. Sakuroma? Yep. Maku time. Makuroma! Makuroma's official design/reference sheet. This design is slightly outdated as her current sprites reflect her design better. Once the jock Metro was made, we naturally moved on to another college trope, the preppy cheerleader. While Metro and Retro are a bit similar in their immaturity and temper, Saku and Maku are very different. Maku shows off her lust, but not intentionally like Sakuroma does. She's meant to look hard while she's just happy to support her friends and loved ones. I thought this would be a funny trope for her and also mix it up from just her being Sakuroma but younger. Yep, makes sense. I decided to make him fat. Because it just works better. Sketch concept for Maku Phase 2's yawning expression. Concept of Maku Phase 2 stage. I wanted a girly/cutesy aesthetic to fit her dorm, since this is Maku's personal area that she shares with Minus' girlfriend. Oh! Maku shares her room with Girlfrost. I don't think that came up in the story like that. The stage was custom made in a 3D program and then traced over. Early sketch sprite concepts of Maku in her dorm. Originally she wasn't going to have a second phase, but I figured with how many poses she already had, and the fact that we have a Metro Phase 2, why not turn these sketches into a Phase 2 Maku as a nice final surprise for the IPU story. Right, this. A drawing of a Metro portrait used in Maku's dorm room. This was added as a bit of world building and to show the relationship Metro and Maku have with each other. It was also almost forgotten to be added to gallery until the last second. You're welcome! Good. Sketch concept of the outfit Maku would have worn in her dorm stage before we gave her a Phase 2. Cute. Sketch concept for Heartmaker Roma. Heartmaker Maku / Maku Phase 2. I wanted this form to have a more gothic appearance, but I still kept the personality of Maku since this form is new and she hasn't been consumed by dark thoughts yet. She only gets this form sometimes after waking up, which is why she talks and acts so sleepy with her reveal. Finished concept for Maku Phase 2. Unlike Mercro, she wasn't requested by fans really at all. But since she was a staple in the IPU update, having her own song in Metro's story, plus Saku being the second character in the mod as a whole, I figure we might as well. I'm really happy with the design and glad we did this instead of doing a third set of poses for regular Maku, as nice as they looked. Sketch concept for Maku Phase 2. You can see how heavily referenced these are when you compare them to her dorm outfit sprites. You can also see the hairbrush for Maku's PJ sprite concepts, but turned into a mirror since that's how she finds out what she looks like. Nice. Solid underboob. We appreciate that. What? Not really a concept mod related, just a doodle of Maku with a gothic aesthetic. I see. Sketch concept for the Metro poster on Maku's dorm wall. Another doodle of Maku posing, and a bit of an inside joke with the mod team of something I can't mention, sorry. But why can't you? Maku's first sprites and the concept of one of her misposes. One thing I really wanted her to have were glittery animated wings, even if that meant the sprite would be larger. I really like how they came out in the final product. And then we have this. Sketches of Maku's sprite poses based off real cheerleader poses. Our sprite artist had so much fun making these that they ended up making a second set of poses for Maku, which is why she has 8 directional poses instead of the traditional 4. These poses have a 50-50 chance to play one or the other pose when she hits a note. We actually ran into some issues with her old up pose, since it was a jumping animation and she used to float in the middle of the air during the long up presses. So if the animation was edited a bit since the 1.5 IPU update, that it is not supposed to be there. Alright, nice. Mizzy! Minus Azuri's official reference/concept art. All of the IPU Infernalings are loosely based on how they would act if they were much younger versions of themselves, so I decided to make Mizzy the cocky nerd that everyone likes to bully. I tried to go as hard as I could into the cliches with the IPU cast, since it's just a fun, silly college AU. Fair. A sketch concept for Mizzy as an opponent. Originally, we weren't going to have more opponents to face in IPU. It was always supposed to just be Metro and Maku. However, IPU always felt a bit unfinished in my mind because of this. I decided Mizzy would be an opponent if his plushies were funded before his campaign ended. He barely made it, so his sprites were made as promised. This is why he has 2 songs compared to the other Minus Infernalings, excluding Metro/Maku. One was for the plushie, but Camis felt that he could do better, so he made one for the story mode. Oh. A layer. Do you spend lunch in the janitor's closet? Do you want help on the project or not? Welcome to his lair. I like that he has his lair. A silly doodle/comic drawn by one of our concept artists for fun, showing off Missy's attitude and personality. Concept art for Missy's stage background. I wanted a science fair theme based around the inside of the gymnasium. Most of IPU's locations are based off of real-life school/college areas. I thought the IPU stages would also be a nice contrast to Infernity's. Those backgrounds are usually extremely flashy and in your face. Extension? Am I worthy of extending my campaign? Young pride. Some campaigns might never work out. But in our case, someone thinks we are worth to be made. You should take pride in that. Get it, pride? Silly doodle comic one of our concept artists did when Missy's plushie campaign got extended. Page 1. And page 2. Hey nerd, I'm gonna kick your ass! Didn't get extension. Great! A silly doodle comic one of our concept artists made when Missy's plushie campaign got extended. Page 2. Say it, say uncle, say it! I can't breathe, not the face, not the face! Uncle louder, nerd! Oh boy, and page 3. A silly doodle comic one of our concept artists made when Missy's plushie campaign got extended. Page 3. And page 4. Let me just read. Yep. Same thing, but page 4. Remind me why I suck so much here. Do I look like I fucking know? Fair. Your altar should hit his face. More. It's starting to look better. Wow. Rude, but okay. More sketch concept of Missy's directional sprite poses. Sketch concept or cameos for Missy's stage. Some are friends, some are devs. And the large lady is Minus Nightflate, who is one of the superintendents for IPU. That's who the large one was in the background. Okay. Another sketch concept of Missy spying on Mensation and Minus boyfriend during the conversation on the Mensation stage. Sketch concept idea for what a double battle against Missy and Mensation. These two are good friends, so a song fighting them both would have been a fun idea. These were also made before Missy and Mensation's official sprites. Why do women only like stupid jerks who dream them like shit? Another meme that Missy would canonically say. Sketch concept for Missy's directional sprite poses. Similar to Azuria's, most of our team was extremely busy with other work, so to speed things along, we got someone to help out with Missy once the Splashy campaign was funded. A doodle/portrait concept of Missy. The other Minus Infernalings weren't going to have portraits at all, but I liked this portrait concept so much that I decided everyone would have their own portraits in IPU. Sketch concept of Missy getting snatched by Metro through a tree. I wanted the joke to be that Missy was always heard complaining about not getting any to the point where Metro would hear him no matter where he was. This was the result of that decision. He always hears him. That's scary. Early concept art/reference for Mensation. Design is slightly outdated, referred to her in-game sprites for her most recent up-to-date design. Now that the jock, preppy cheerleader, and nerd were established, it was time to make a goth. While Mensation and Insation are fairly similar compared to some of the other Infernalings and their IPU counterparts, Mensation is a lot more lax and laid back. Maybe even more mature than Insation despite being younger. She can appear feral, but it's only to be threatening. She has a lot more control on her temper compared to Insation. Oh. We get another comic! I find it bizarre that she's stuck up for me ever since. Forever ago. Ah, so you used to wear glasses. I didn't think we would become good friends after that. Yeah, you better run. And she becomes big enough to toss over a car. Feels like Metro if he was female, red, and ate 5 pounds of McDemons each lunch. A comic concept drawn by one of our artists showing the potential backstory for Mizzy and Mensation. While this isn't 100% canon, it does give an idea of how they could have been growing up. He actually looks much cuter with glasses. Directional pose concept sketches for Mensation's left and right poses. A poses were meant to show her anger, since Minus BF cuts in front of her for food. Not mod related, but an older dude slash sketch concept of Mizzy and Mensation grabbing lunch together, and apparently getting drunk. Or just being flustered, whatever. Concept art for the IPU Mansion, or food court. I wanted a location where demons and angels hung out together, which is why you'll see a bit of both on the stage in the background. This was made before the background artist knew about my Universes Make Demons joke, so it was asked to be changed to that in the final product. From Black Donalds. Concept art sketches for Mensation's up pose. I almost considered giving her an old up pose like Insation for her screaming section of the song, but it looked fine as it is. Mensation's health bar icons left and the very first concept art right. Mensation's updated design slash concept used for her sprites. This was to give her a bit more muscle and make her appear large and more intimidating compared to her initial build. Alright, fair, yeah, I see it. Ain't he just streamy? Sounds lame. Damn. A very early doodle of Makaroma and Mensation talking to each other about Metro. This was made right after Mensation was designed. And... watching really? A doodle of Mizzy and Mensation watching a streamer named Germa9A5, non-canon. But why? Alright, Highness! Concept art slash reference for Highness. With the Minus characters, I thought it'd be funny just replacing the beginning of their names with the letter M, but in Hive Mind's case it sounded terrible, Mive Mind. After thinking of how to go around it, I decided ending her name with us from Minus would sound better. It also sounded like the term Highness, which was a perfect fit for her. Terrace. Concept art reference for Highness's bodyguard, Terrace. To match Highness's name, I went with Terrace instead of Mary. Terrace and Terry are probably the most different from each other out of the IPU Infernadized cast. I wanted Terrace to be a loyal bodyguard, while Terry was a mysterious miscreant. Terrace is also part of the football team along with Metro. We knew. Fan art of Highness shortly made after her creation by one of our sprite artists. Concept art sketches of Mensation and Mizzy for the IPU Courtyard, aka Highness's stage. Early concept art sketch for Terrace before he had a proper color palette. Alright. Concept art sketches for Metro and Mace for the IPU Courtyard, aka Highness's stage. Concept art sketch for Terrace's idol sprite. I wanted him to be part of Highness's song in some way, but wasn't sure how to go about it at first. As I composed Highness's song, I decided to make it so he helps her in the middle of the song. Highness is the only IPU character besides Metro to have mid-song event slash voice lines. Early concept sketch of Highness. Once you have a jock, a cheerleader, a nerd, a goth, where do you go next? Since Highness is green, I decided she'd be a rich, snobby girl with a bodyguard. Concept art for the IPU Courtyard. I wanted a large building with a fountain in the middle based off traditional college campuses. The water on the fountain went through a couple of different animation attempts until we got an animation cycle I was happy with. And then we have the Terrace sprites. Sketch pose concept for Terrace's directional sprites. These were made after Highness's sprites, so the mic he holds could be more accurately positioned around her poses. Nice. Motion. Concept art slash reference for Minus Atrocian. Motion. He went from being called Motion to Matrius, but I felt that name strayed too far from the M or Us rule I made for the universe, so I went back to Motion. He is the dean of the Infernal wing, and I wanted him to be corrupt with power, but less serious than Atrocian, so he's more of a wimpier version of him. I also thought it'd be funny if the soul on his antenna could actually talk back to him and be the voice of reason. Sketch concept for motion self-portrait in the back of his office. A concept artist loves atrocian/motion, so they wanted to draw a portrait for him to put in his office. Full rendered version of motion self-portrait in the back of his office. Sketch concept for motion's idle pose. I wanted him to have his microphone that's used when he's an announcer at the IPU football game. Line poses for motion's directional sprites. I wanted him to appear weird and disgusting since he's meant to make players feel uncomfortable, especially in his dialogue. Concept art for motion's office stage. I wanted dramatic lighting to shine through the blindfolds to amplify motion's creepiness. Silly doodles done by R, concept artist in between mod work of motion. Doodle of a chibi motion. I might use it as a reference for a motion plushie someday. Unlikely. I can see why it'd be unlikely. Motion is not exactly one of the big characters. A more unique concept of -BF fighting motion through the commentator booth on the IPU field. This was a really cool idea and definitely something I considered, but I wanted all of the characters to be consistent with each other, so we stuck with the traditional angle and chose his office to fight him instead. Motion's very first sketch concept. By this point, I wasn't really sure what student trope he would fit in, plus he looked older than the rest of the Minus crew, so I decided to make him a dean/principal type character. I wanted him to be weird and disgusting, similar to a Trojan, but less traditional villain and more a weirdo. Yeah, I think that worked out well. Mosey! Mosey's official concept/reference. Similar to Motion, I couldn't figure out a spot for him as a student, and since Dozerick is so old, I felt he'd fit better as a staff member. There were ideas to make him a hall monitor at one point, but I needed a teacher for the IPU story, so I made him a math teacher. I named him Mosey instead of Moserick, since Moserick just sounded a bit weird to me. Line art concept for most directional poses. Since Dozerick doesn't have legs, I wanted to also apply that to Mosey. He uses a rocket to propel himself upward and move around, with lanes for these sprites were very complicated to animate, similar to Faceful Retro's hair or Atrocian Souls. But it did work out well. Concept art for Mosey's classroom, based off of real college classrooms. Originally, the coffee mug was just a random stage prop, but I decided to find a way to add it to Mosey's story. If you also pay close attention to the steam coming from Mosey's coffee mug throughout the song, it starts to fade away, and is gone by the end of the song. Huh, that is a detail I actually didn't catch. Because I was too busy playing the song, probably. Shark Week, Dozerick, isn't it your turn to look after Class 2? Class what? A doodle of Motion and Mosey talking to each other about class duties. Sketch concept for Mosey was originally going to have a red tie instead of a blue one. Concept sketches of cameos in the IPU classroom. A couple years ago I made a tweet telling people to submit their -IPU designs without giving a reason. The real reason wouldn't be revealed until the mod's release, where we put random people from the tweet here in the classroom and in Mensation's food court stage. Huh, nice. The original concepts for IPU girlfriend and boyfriend. I felt they looked too identical to Lago's Minus design and wanted them to stand out a bit more, so I added a halo to -BF and horn/a tail to Minus girlfriend. They weren't officially named boyfriends and girlfriends until part 2. Concept art sketches for IPU BF/GF's health bar icons. Sketch concept poses for boyfriend/BF V2's directional sprites. When we redesigned regular BF sprites, I realized that -BF sprites looked very old and outdated with his old proportions, so I commissioned new ones. IPU BF Boyfriend is the new student of the IPU cast, so he's a little more innocent and nicer than regular BF, but not by much. Sketch concept for IPU BF V2's miss poses. Sketch concept for IPU GF V2, aka Girlfriend. Since IPU BF got new sprites, it was only natural for IPU GF to also get new ones as well. Wing tattoo glow, summons wing. Ooh, I don't think we ever saw that really. A concept of IPUBF with his shirt off showing his wings. While this isn't in the mod, I'd say it's canon. Oh, cool. A concept for a possible redesign for IPUBF when we were coming up with new sprites. While I liked the clothes on this concept, I felt this old outfit would still fit him better, so this was scrapped. Concept art for IPUBF V2's idle pose. A concept for IPUBF V2, V1 on the left. This was a concept for V2 made before the official V2 sprites. While it's an improvement, I felt it was a bit too similar to V1. Concept art for IPUBF V2's Game Over sprite. As always, new sprites meant new skeleton and death sprite. 1% of players will see. Miko! Miko's official design / reference. Similar to Phase 2 Metro, Miko was added due to fan interest. People wanted to see Miko in Versus Retro, especially when the Weekend 1 update came out. I had no idea or a place to put Pico in my universe's main story, so I decided on doing his Minus variant instead as a playable character. This design is loosely based off of Minus Pico's dinosaur design by Lagio. Sketch concepts for Miko's directional sprites. Unlike Pico, I wanted Miko to be the more evil side, since IPU doesn't really have any villains. I felt making Miko an actual threat to the IP universe, I get it, would make for some interesting stories and world building. Sketch concept for Miko's Death / Game Over sprite. Ooh, him taking the drugs, I assume? A what-if concept if Miko took his own green machine, aka the stuff he sells to Metro that makes him turn into Merctro. This would have been a cool Phase 2 concept if we had more time / energy when creating this week, but the team was really burned out by this point. Shame, but understandable. Sprite concept for Miko during the song Merctroid? IPU Pico? That's a lot. Miko's very first sketch concept before his design was finalized. Motion's phone that Mightflate uses to call him at the end of Blammerhead. What's funny about his portrait is the perspective of the receiver. The phone is pretty messed up. The phone is so large that it's not possible for him to fit on the tiny receiver. Also, Phone Guy from FNF was used as a reference for this portrait. The more you know. Huh. There she is. A full-body concept for Nightflate, one of IPU's superintendents. Originally, she wasn't going to be in the mod, since Nightflate was added pretty far into development, but I found a way to include her into Motion's week and Mizzy stage near the last second. Nice. Morning, fellow staffs. Morning. Damn. Another concept of Nightflate greeting the faculty. One of our dev members is a huge simp for Nightflate / Nightflate, so I just drew them reacting to her. In fact, I had to rewrite this note because it originally had a booba emote made by that same dev team member when they helped me make the sprite sheet for these notes. Minus Ace over the Jack. Oh. Well, not the design they went for. Concept fan art for a minus fun size Ace, if it was a Jackalope. Honestly, with a project like this, the possibilities for ideas and concept are endless. Every fun size sin could have had a minus version, every minus sin could have been playable, etc. Unfortunately, the line has to be drawn somewhere, since money and time are finite. It's fun to think about, though. A concept for a fun-sized minus retro. This and minus fun-sized Ace concepts are really old. They were created when FNF Minus was popular in the early mid-2021s. I do wonder what we change about them for IPU, since these were made before that. A doodle showing where fun-sized minus retro got his bandana from, and why fun-sized minus Ace doesn't have one. Concept art for the Moonlight stage. The buildings originally looked like this, but I felt it made IPU seem really small and old-fashioned compared to the rest of the city. The city was too cyberpunky / neon-futuristic compared to IPU, so I asked our background artists to simplify the buildings and space them out a bit more. Fair and reasonable. Concept art for IPUBF approaching Metro while he's training on the field. This was one of the menu art concepts made for the 1.5 IPU update, and ended up not being used since I chose something else. Another concept art of IPU/1.5 update. Ultimately, this is the one I like the most, so I asked the artist to finish it. You can still see this menu used in the background if you download the 1.5 version. Once the menu art was decided, the sketch was refined, and shade was added to resemble the traditional base game FNF menu art style. Before IPU's release, the menu was given full color to use for the song Sigma's YouTube thumbnail. Thumbnail art made for Icing Tensions. Originally, this song was made for Camix's mod, and you can still play it in Versus Ace. I decided to add it into Metro's week for Part 2 to better showcase the relationship between Metro and Mace, and to make Metro's update story flow a little better. When 1.5 came out, some players were confused as to why Mace sort of just shows up in the outro picture after overtime, so hopefully this inclusion helps with that a little bit. Thumbnail art commissioned for the song Acideron. The background is wavy to show Metro losing focus. The song is still one of my favorites I've ever composed, and to this day I'm still trying to figure out how to compose something better than it. I know I can, by motivation, yada yada yada. Hi Karel. Thumbnail art commissioned for the song Preppy. Maku's inclusion in Metro's week was added as a bit of a mini surprise since players were only expecting to fight Metro at the time. This did make the character select in the IPU story mode a bit tricky, however. Since Maku's song is so ingrained into Metro's week, I decided to just keep it there. Thumbnail art commissioned for the song Overtime. With Overtime I wanted a constant stamina match against two players, giving it their all against the player. Since the song is called Overtime, it made sense for everyone involved to give it their all. This was of course planned to be the final IPU song originally, which is why it's so climatic for the end of Metro's week. Funny how plans change over the years. Concept art of the outro picture seen after completing Overtime. Originally, I was going to commission our loading screen artist to a redraw of this, so the art style would match the rest of the key art in Part 2, but with how many characters are in it, the price would have been higher. So I decided it wouldn't be worth the money and kept it as is since the original is still great. She's way more muscular than you would think. Album art commissioned for the original Be Good Break song that was teased on YouTube a couple years ago. This art would be the reference we'd end up using for Missy's official stage. Nice. Art I commissioned celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the IPU update's release, featuring the Infernalings and various Team Dev members minus counterparts. This art would also become the reference used for Moses' official stage. Speeded football tryouts, meet on the field. Thumbnail art commissioned for the Versus Mace soundtrack, YouTube thumbnail. Whoa. Concept art drawn for Brainstorm's loading screen / YouTube thumbnail. This song was originally meant to be the song played in Icebreaker when Zertro and Isolation fight each other, but it sounded so goofy that I repurposed it as a silly crossover with Metro and Zertro instead. Art commissioned of Maku and Metro holding plushies of themselves to advertise their plushie campaigns. What's crazy about these two plushie campaigns is that the sales numbers kept fighting each down to the very last second, only for them to result in an even tie, matching the exact amount of plushies sold each. I think it was 408? Huh. Commissioned art for the song Postgame. Due to all the tension on the field during Metro's week, I wanted to write a song that was more chill and laid back. I also love fall, so I asked our background artist to make a stage edit for it. I was also sick of working with BM's chromatics at this point, so I decided on Metro Maku duet. Vote of a lifetime. Evolution hit hard. Moms, especially the wonky ones. What? What do you mean? What kind of quote is that? Also, Gabe, thanks for the raid. Hope you had fun with Hades. Hope you had a lot of fun with Hades, in fact. Hope you like lore as well. Oh wow, nothing here, just credit. Credit Tired Pink Panda 2022. And then the credit as well, wow. Really lazy on that one. Fan art used for Mom Pom's thumbnail. I think I saw the art of this and liked it so much that I immediately went to go compose Mom Poms. Mom Poms is a play on word of mom and pom-poms, which are the objects that Maku holds while cheerleading. This would be one of the first ideas I'd have for crossing my canon universe with my alternate one. My only regret with Mom Poms is that it's a bit repetitive and drags on just a little bit too much for my liking. I had my furthest run yet. Very happy to hear that. Also Lucas, hello, how's it going? How's it going? We're getting close over here. I'm an art commission for Mace's plushie campaign video on YouTube. Oh, we made it past minus! We've cleared the minus segment! We are on to Ace. Ace's official design/reference sheet. Ace is an interesting character to write for since I don't own him, nor did I adopt his design like some other characters in Infernadize. In fact, he's not canon to Infernadize and is more of a crossover/special appearance type of character. Ace is his own character with his own story and universe. This is why you don't really see him much in Infernadize. I feel it's better to be safe than sorry when it comes to other people's characters. However, Kamix did so much for P2 in both music and SFX department that I was happy to include him anywhere I could that wasn't canon. Two pieces of media that I know abbreviated HSR of characters named Pom Pom. Huh. Characters named Pom Pom. Named after, of course, the Pom Poms, I assume, which is the cheerleading thing. Honestly, I expect IPU to take way longer, surprisingly. It wasn't actually that long. I think each character only had like one page full of stuff. Ace V1's original sprite sketch concept for his left pose. V1 has the beady eyes design to better fit the style of FNF at the time. When we made V2 Ace's sprites, I figured it was time to give him his actual eyes, as cute as the beady eyes were. Ace V2's original sprite sketch concept for his idle pose. And Ace V1's sprite sketch concept for his right pose. Hate about CodeMix is how much of the large file space is just left over from versus Square. I'm currently working on that. Reducing file size for optimization? What is this? Even AAA companies can't optimize file size. Imagine you actually doing that. Thumbnail art commissioned by Kamix for an artist, from an artist for his song Catwalk. Since Ace got new shirtless portraits, I wasn't sure where to put them. In Icebreaker's gloves grow back on him in the outro art, so Catwalk felt like it'd be the funniest / fit the most to use them. Art of Insation and Izzy in New York City trying human food for the first time. This actually isn't in Versus Retro, it was made for Versus Ace Week 2 when you see the cameos walk behind Ace and BF in the forest. Oh. Cameos of Retro and one of our concept artists from Part 1. This was also made for Versus Ace Week 1, but you can catch a glimpse of these cameos in Frostbite 2 on Ace's side of Versus Retro. Cool me down, I warm you up. And no matter what happens, the thin eyes and thick skin will always have each other. Ah. A comic I commissioned on Valentine's Day a couple years ago for Kamix. Cute. You don't get it, a 60GB game looks much more appealing than a 500MB one. You're so right, you know that? Biomutant, the game, which is very weird. Huh. Can't say I have really any knowledge of Biomutant. But if it's good, I guess it's good. Thumbnail art made for Kamix's original song Spell. Funnily enough, when people saw the thumbnail, they thought that Izzy was the one brainwashing Ace, since not many people knew one of the Infernal Link's powers, abilities, until Part 2 came out. We also made special sprites for both Ace and Saku on the stage, since their normal sprites wouldn't have really been fitting. Thumbnail art commissioned for Kamix's Ectospasm remix. This was the start of RafBF's design, who was called EctoBF at the time. Ace didn't get any sprite edits for this one, since the only difference in his Ecto design were a couple piercings. Thumbnail art for Frostbite 2, aka Kamix's remix of his original song Frostbite from vs. Ace Week 1. He chose Maku and Ace to sing together for a specific reason. It wasn't Ninfa who did Maku's chromatics, like some people might think, since she voiced Maku. Maku's chromatic were made by Kamix, his e-girl voice, basically his voice, but in the highest range he can sing, which is why it's referenced sometimes in side stories whenever Ace and Maku meet. Ah, well there you go. Helldivers 2 did some crazy file compression, went from 154 gigs to 23. That is absolutely insane file compression. Insane how much stuff can be compressed. Really wish more big titles did stuff like that. When showing him some screenshots. Interesting that it's that scary apparently that you'd scare Lucas, huh? Here we have Isolation. With more frost too. Isolation's official reference sheet. Kamix liked Zergtro so much that he wanted to make a similar form for Ace, but rather than him transforming into anger, he would accidentally turn into this form due to stress and anxiety. The crystal armor was considered being added to Isolation's sprite at one point, either through a second song or in the middle of the first song, but it would have been a pain for our sprite artist to animate, so we decided not to. Thumbnail art commissioned for the thumbnail of Icebreaker, the song that plays when you face off against Isolation as Zergtro. I had a lot of fun making the song, and I rarely make sad music, so I wanted to go for something that really captured the feeling of sadness and loneliness. It's probably my favorite song I've made, just below our Acideron. Concept art for Isolation's idol sprite. These sprites were made in secret behind Kamix's back as a special birthday present for him, since he wanted Isolation sprites but didn't feel like it'd be worth the money for them at the time. I got a smaller part of the dev team together in a private channel he couldn't see. We divided up the work as evenly as possible and finished everything in a week. It was probably the most coordinated and efficient the team has ever been on the project. Damn. Concept art for Isolation's right pose. 3 poses were handled by one artist, the other 2 were handled by a different artist. How do I describe it? The pictures Kirill sent me are so utterly confusing that I legit thought it was AI generated. How can one make it that confusing? Huh. Concept art for Isolation's down pose. With this pose, he's almost embarrassed or hiding so people don't see him. Concept art for Isolation's up pose, he's pulling his ears in a way similar to how people pull their hair when they're stressed. Concept art for Isolation's left pose. For this pose, he's reeling away in fear, almost telling people to stand back. Art commissioned of Ace and Zergtro having an argument used for versus Retro version 1.75's menu art. While 1.75 was also a total engine overhaul from Kate to Psych, I also wanted Kamix's birthday gift to be the face of this update. Thumbnail art sketch concept for the Icebreaker song thumbnail. Art of Isolation holding a plushie of himself for his plushie campaign. And Mace is apparently here. Mace is not in minus. Mace is in ace. Let's see. Older concept / reference for Mace. This concept was before we gave him clothes, but since everyone else at IPU wears clothes, it was a bit weird. All he had was a bandana, so we ended up giving him a jacket. He's also the only semi-non-athro character across the entire Infernadice roster, besides Crimstalkers. Mesolation's first concept art originally started as a fan-made concept / what if. Kamix eventually made a song for him called Final Suite, and a fan-made stage concept for it was made. I decided to make it official by commissioning full sprites and a stage for him. Sadly, we couldn't figure out a spot to put him in the main IPU story, so we stuck it to side stories. Shame. You would get it. It looks like something you would see as one of the real new Unreal Engine 4 game, or AI generated. Huh. Weird. Weird. Concept art sketch for one of Mesolation's portraits. The idea behind this was to show how tired and stressed he is. While isolation is based off of anxiety stress, Mesolation is based off of fatigue stress and burnout. Send your cutest delivery, boy! A noodle character will always be cute. Silly meme doodle of Mace delivering pizza. Concept art sketches of for Mesolation's directional poses. While not really intentional, these sprites are pretty unique in the fact that they work in both the non-traditional FNF camera angle and his stage's unique camera angle. This is useful since Kamix can use these for his mod in the possible future, or fans can use them in covers without him looking too jarring. Huh, interesting. Also, hi Star Umbreon, how's it going? Hello. Welcome to hopefully the last bit of lore to this mod. Concept art sketch for playable Mace's Game Over / Death sprites. While I wanted to add every minor sin as playable, the only reason Metro, Marco, and Mace's are in is because they were already playable from older songs, Mom Pom's post-game, etc. Concept art sketch for Mace's Game Over / Death sprite in the preseason remix. What's funny about the preseason remix is, despite it being in versus Ace for years, he never had a proper Death sprite until now. I commissioned it for consistency reasons. Oh, and we made it to miscellaneous, second to last category. Finished porting songs of the V-Slice mod to Psych. Huh, nice. How are you? A bit exhausted, I'll be honest. I'm glad to finally be finished with Retro after today. This mod, again, just going through all the story content and songs took 23 hours of gameplay. And now I already have two additional streams of just me reading lore on top of the 23 hours of gameplay for the songs and story mode. Absolute insanity. How is this mod this big? Nobody knows. You are being hostage. I am being held hostage by myself. A concept of BF and GF getting a brochure from Daddy Dearest. This was an idea I had for the story where Daddy Dearest would send BF / GF to the Infernal Lands, almost like an amusement park. The 7 Infernalings would try to kill BF, while GF is having fun and enjoying the side / pleasures. I ended up scrapping the idea, though, because Daddy Dearest tricking BF felt like it was done in nearly every FNF mod back then. I just made it so Knife Blade steals them from their dimension instead. Concept art sketches of BF-V2's directional poses and updated icons. Pretty far into Part 2 development, I talked with our artists about how it felt like every single mod had their own stylized version of BF to make the mod stand out more. I decided it was time to give him a slight redesign. He's still the BF from the base game that's been in a lot of different mod universes, my headcanon, but his older look clashed a bit with the other characters. After the design was made, the other BFs would be designed afterwards. I love the names of this game. Enormous, Cat Beast, it's Bob. Ain't that interesting? Yeah, I mean, sometimes clashing names and designs does work really well. Hate the new V-Slice chart format. I can't even use them in Psych 0.6.3. I'm forced to remake the chart. Ooh, that sucks. That actually does suck a lot. I know sometimes porting charts between engines does have some kind of issues that you have to go through and fix, but it not working at all, that's a new one. That sounds like it would be a lot of effort in that case. Concept out of BF-V2's Miss Sprites. A what-if concept for Boyfriend having a unique pose for certain songs. This one in particular was when Dostrake falls back asleep at the end of Slow Stopper, and BF would look towards GF confused. Unfortunately, the idea never made it in due to all of the other work needed for the mod at the time. Sketch concept of GF-V2. Since Boyfriend got a V2, Girlfriend looked even more jarring in her V1 design, so we also gave her a V2 design, and then the outfits were based around this one. Sketch concept of GF V2's neutral portrait. While this GF is base game, headcanon GF, she acts a bit differently compared to her actual base game self. This is because her personality was originally designed around how she was perceived in 2021, before we knew much about her beyond week 6. If the story wasn't already done by the time we found out that she's actually pretty talkative in future weeks and trailers, I would have made her speak more in this mod and probably give her a bigger role than just sitting there and looking pretty. Not really mod related, just one of our concept artists having fun with Daddy Dearest concept if he was in the from the RAF realm. Oh, neat. And even Pico Mix? Ooh, well that's a backport and a half then. Buff Fairy Goatman. Wonky Mom. Again, weird names. Daddy Dearest, if he decided to lock in. I guess so. Though he does also look kind of buff in the redesign he got here in general. A sketch concept of Daddy Dearest rolling his sleeves up upon seeing BF and GF hug each other at the end of the story mode. In my headcanon for this Daddy Dearest, he still obviously dislikes BF and always will, but he's willing to give him some breathing room from time to time. This is one of those cases considering everything BF just went through. Once they return to their world though, it's back to their usual plots to stop BF from dating GF. Another concept sketch idea of Daddy Dearest conversing with War, one of the 4 Inferno Lords. After the amusement park idea fell through, I wanted some sort of explanation or reason as to why BF and GF are even in the Inferno Lands in the first place. One of these ideas was that Daddy Dearest and War knew each other, so Daddy Dearest placed a bounty on BF, but I soon realized this was another trope way overdone, at least in OC mods back then, so I scrapped it. A sketch concept of Daddy Dearest nodding. He only has 2 small voice lines, so I decided to just voice them really quick myself. Hopefully it's not too obvious that it's me. Nah, it's fine. Oh god, it's the one! It's the creature! It's the monster. This was another one that was really hard to figure out the achievement for. Again, I play this mod on the highest difficulty, except for Apocalypse on that one song. So it took me forever to figure out how to get the achievement for Felipe crashing the game. Turns out, he only crashes the game if you don't play on the highest difficulty. I had to beat the song on a lower difficulty to get the achievement for him crashing the game. Absolute bullshittery. This is one of the, I think, 2 achievements that are completely unobtainable on the higher difficulties. The other one being getting all the Terry coins, because Hell difficulty has less Terry coins on the song, so even if you collect all the Terry coins, it doesn't count as collecting all the Terry coins, because there aren't as many. So yeah, both this and the Terry coin achievement are impossible to get on the highest difficulty, even if you play perfectly. Just felt like I should mention that. Sketch concept for Felipe's directional poses. Once all of the serious work was done, it was time for the team to go nuts with some fun characters. These characters would be Terry, Rockone, my real-life cat Miles, and a shitpost OC I made years ago called Felipe. He's a bit of a parody of various things like Sparkle Dog Furries, My Little Pony OCs, etc. Still an asshole, but evil. Cycles to each color. A silly doodle / sketch of Felipe.web page. Oh no, parody of .exe and creepypasta characters. WebP files are the worst. Felipe's official reference sheet. The idea behind Felipe was to make it as absurd as possible and throwing in as many memes on him as we could. That weren't too outdated, but mileage varies in that regard. Since there weren't really any harder songs than Ectospasm, I wanted him to have the hardest song in the mod, so we ended up throwing every note mechanic we could that wouldn't break the game, and made the charting as ridiculous as possible. I did want people to experience the music though, so we did different difficulty options for him. FLP. Felipe on HRT. Horse race test. More sketch doodles of Felipe paradising, EXE and creepypasta stuff. Felipe's one and only dialogue portrait. This was the drawing I made of him before we included him in the mod. Kudos to the artists and animators for expanding upon his design from this quick shitpost I drew. At this point, you should write an entire feedback essay. I don't think anyone would really comment or even find out about such a specific achievement unless you did a U and said, I am beating this fully. Fair. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. But yeah, other achievements, by the way, that are a pain to obtain. Stacking up 10 Venom on the second song, on the second song of Greed, of Hive Mind. You want to know why that's a pain? Because you have to intentionally hit the mines, but oh boy, when you hit the mines, you can't hit any nodes, which means the nodes kill you. Like when you already have 9 Venom stacked up. You wanna know how hard it is to hit another one? Because at 9 Venom, you're basically at low HP constantly. So hitting another Venom node will kill you within seconds because you will absolutely miss all the normal nodes that come afterwards. That is another one where I had to lower the difficulty. I think it might be possible to achieve on the max difficulty, but it is near impossible. Because it forces you to miss regular nodes which can kill you. Ship art doodle of Felipe and Raccoon. Raccoon is from a joke I made in one of my YouTube videos explaining Sakuroma's origins. I basically talk about how I'm a big fan of portmanteaus for names, which is the combination of different words to mean something new. I explained that it takes me some time to think of good ones, and that I wouldn't do something stupid like rock plus stone equals Raccoon. I asked a friend to doodle something super quick for me for the video, and Raccoon was officially born. The quoted of King Kong. Style to create. Swords. Poofpaw. Monkeypaw. You're just listing off more very weird names. Because reasons. Doodle from one of our concept artists of Felipe posing for the camera. A doodle slash shitpost of Buff Felipe. Unlike the Infernalings, Felipe is the ultimate shapeshifter. He can be buff, skinny, thick, and turn into absolutely anything. Horseman of Death, Felipe. Another doodle shitpost of Felipe being the final boss. This was made before Nightblade was even considered being added to the mod, which is why the text says Horseman of Death. Shitpost of Felipe as a My Little Pony OC. The idea behind Felipe is that he only has 1 hoof, 1 MLP leg, and 2 hands with paw pads, toe beans on him. God, this stuff. More sketch concepts of Felipe's various meme posts that play throughout the song. From left to right, Skibbity Toilet, How Hungry, Glorb, Soy Point, EXC / Creepypasta, Athos, Buff Anime Dude, Busty Anime Woman. Yeah. Just, yeah. Felipe on even more HRT horse race test. Sketch concept for a versus Dev team song. This would have Dev team members tied up in a dark basement while they argue with Zergtro in song format. It was going to be an artist, animator, and character initially. And charter initially, but the bigger and more active the team got, the more people asked if they could be included in the song. I realized it wouldn't be fair to some devs just having a few people in the song, and due to complications / time constraints / having to make multiple chromatics for so many different people, the idea was scrapped. That is actually a shame, a very big shame. Kitty. Zergtro pokes Miles. Yes, I do this to him IRL. But not with big hands like that. Miles Earth form and Hell form. a reference sheet for the demon form of Miles, Biles. While he doesn't really have a huge role in the story, I wanted a way to include my cat into my universe that wasn't just a regular cat. So one of my concept artists drew a demon form for him. He pukes acid on demons and melts their faces off. Cute! Cute kitty! We're on to the last section! We're on to the last section, can you believe it? Friday Night Funkin vs. RetroSpecter. The original logo concept created for vs. RetroSpecter way back in the early FNF modding days, before the mod even started. This was the very first graphic made and was used for the song Retro teaser on YouTube. This would even eventually carry over into Part 1's logo. A sketch concept for Part 1's logo. The idea for candles being used in retro stage Phase 3 form was always considered since the very beginning, and you can see it placing the eye in Funkin here. I also wanted to emphasize the cyan fire / green crystals the players would see on retro stage. Ooh. Sketch concept for vs. Sakuroma Week logo. Back when we originally planned internally to have a retro-sized week. You can tell how much has changed since then, since Sakuroma doesn't really have a lot of roses or plants in her establishment compared to the logo. A logo concept for the IP 1.5 update that was before I came up with Inferno Dice University subtitle. But I like this one, I felt the book took up too much space between the words, so I decided to close it. Alright, fair enough. This looks like there should have been another thing down here in the middle, right? This looks like there was something else that got removed. Sketch concept for the IP 1.5 update logo. This was the one we ended up going with since it really captured that college aesthetic, and the stadium light showed that it take place on a sports field. A sketch concept for the Icebreaker / 1.75 update logo. The logo consists of ice and green crystals, and the top of the logo is the bridge from Aces Week 2. This looks odd. Maybe this is this one down here, like the press enter to begin was supposed to be in here, but it looked weird because it shifted off, so they put it down here instead. Maybe that's why. A sketch concept for the Icebreaker 1.5 update logo. I like the idea of this one had, but I felt isolation and Xerxes expressions did not fit with the theme of the mod update, so I didn't use it. Can't see the art of air. You know what, I'll go back and look at the art of air. Sketch concepts for vs. Retro Part 2's logo. I was pretty happy with this one right away, besides some tweaking here and there. I teased Phase 3, skeleton shoulder pads, and his face. Part of me wishes we had kept the shadow on it, because the current logo straight up spoils Phase 3's face, but this was mostly due to a miscommunication / graphical error when I showed the logo in the 2024 reveal trailer. Oh well. Sad I can't click on it to zoom in. Alright, here we go, next one. Another concept for vs. Retro Part 2's logo. This one has the claws grabbing the logo, which I thought really added to the logo's flair. Unfortunately, I wasn't too happy with the line work, so I got someone else to redraw it, while keeping the ideas from this one. A scrap press enter to begin graphic that would show up on the main menu. I ended up scrapping it so the logo could be bigger on the main menu and more in your face. And because the dripping acid had to go behind or in front of this text, which didn't look great. Text boxes. Scrap concept idea for custom text boxes. Before the square text boxes were added in Part 2, we had an artist try out unique speech bubble text boxes. However, I wasn't a huge fan of them, and it would also make formatting text a bit awkward for each character's unique speech bubble, so we ultimately scrapped these and kept the square text boxes you see in the mod today with different aesthetic instead. Raph. Logo sketch concepts for Raph when he is selected in Part 1's character select story menu. I ended up going with the second one, but it was scrapped in Part 2 and replaced with the new Raph logo to better fit the aesthetic of the new menu style. To be continued. The to be continued logo that sat at the end of Spectral for 4 years until this mod's release, teasing Phase 3's chains and skulls. Super satisfying to see it finally gone after all this time, to be honest. They do look cool, I agree. A bit of a shame, but I do understand why they didn't go for it. Part 1. Part 1 subtitle graphic used for, well, Part 1. Coming soon. The coming soon graphic was, I was also happy to get rid of in Part 2. This was shown under the other 5 Sin's Infernal links that you couldn't fight against yet for 4 years when you selected them in Part 1, 1.5 or 1.75. A scrapped icon I commissioned of Tankman with the Game Jolt logo. Due to a miscommunication with a dev member, we thought we could add achievements and the mod to Newgrounds, but due to the mod's massive file size, we realized we couldn't. It has been replaced by a Game Jolt icon you can see in the main menu today, but I wanted to include it there so it could at least be seen somewhere. Custom arrows planned for the mod. Honestly, I'm not sure why these didn't end up getting used. It might be because we felt it wouldn't fit the mod's aesthetic at the time, or the default arrows already had a ton of recolored skins of the different characters, and some dev members didn't want to go back and change all those if we added this new arrow skin. The default arrow skin is one of the only remnants left of vanilla FNF in Retro Part 2. Concept art of the dev team logo I commissioned, shortening Retro in Re and Spectre to Spec. Respec is short for Respecialize, and is used in video games where you reset your skill trees, usually. Early sketch concept for the Team Respec logo. Sigma. A logo for the art I commissioned for the song Sigma. Originally, I was going to use these logos in my YouTube thumbnails and album art, but I decided not to since they weren't what I was looking for at the time. A logo for the art I commissioned for the song Sideron. A logo of the art I commissioned for the song Preppy. And a logo of the art I commissioned for the song Overtime. Silhouettes for the Infernalings of the original character select in part 1.5 and 1.7.5, before the menu got completely overhauled for part 2. These were going to be replaced with the idle sprites of whichever Infernaling you unlock for them. You can see this in earlier builds when selecting Retro and Sakuroma. Nice. Sigma bottom text. Oh boy, I think we're approaching the end. Logo concept for RetroSpecter watermark, technically not mod related, though the RAF emblem is in the second one. I use the second one to this day in my YouTube videos. Logo sketch concept for Berserker / Retro / Zergtro. As more forums got their own text logos, I realized Retro's forums were still just Retro, so I commissioned some for second, third, and fourth phases. I ended up selecting the bottom one because I like the way the portal was drawn here as the O. Sketch concept for Isolation's logo in its character select screen. In side stories, I ended up going with the first one. A scrapped logo for Pendalumbra. While I liked this logo, I didn't feel it captured the essence of Pendalumbra. To me, this logo felt like it had a Wild West vibe going on with it, so I ended up commissioning a different logo for her and scrapping this one. Logo sketch concept for Felipe. I ended up choosing the top one since Felipe tops. That was lore I didn't think we needed. We didn't need to know that Felipe tops, but oh well. Sketch concept for Pendulumbra's role logo in the main story. None of these logos end up being used since we combined Patience, Death, and Mixer into a single finale logo instead. Of unused content that technically is used. True, it is technically used here in the gallery. We got to know all the lore. Yep, we got to know, I guess. Finished logos that ended up not being used. Our logo artist does several sketch concepts, and due to a miscommunication, the cleanup artist cleaned both variants instead of just the ones I selected. They might not be used, but at least they're pretty to look at. Huh. They are. Logo sketch concept for Ace, I ended up going with the middle one. Logo sketch concept for Pendalumbra, these were much more in line with what I was looking for. I ended up going with the first one because of the quill and paper in the background. Logo sketch concept for Terry, I ended up choosing the top one. Logo sketch concept for Corruptor, I ended up going with the top one. Man, Retro sure likes going with the top one. Logo sketch concept for Nightflate, and I ended up going with the top one. Also, hi Bones. So I'm just leaving work. I'm deaded. It's like your name. I get it. Anyway, I hope you're not too deaded, and if you gotta rest, do that. Absolutely get some rest. You need it. Sketch concept for RetroSpecter's custom health bars. I always really like custom health bars in the FNF mods I played, so I wanted to add them to my mod. We quickly realized how much space they can take up if we aren't careful though, which you'll see in the health bars after this one. It was a lot of trial and error, and we even had to cut some health bars off the screen at the bottom so they didn't appear too intrusive. Oh, interesting. Heading home to consume snackies till I pass out. Fair. After the stream is over, I'll also consume some snackies and then pass out. Funny thing, you might have noticed if you're on the Discord that I said I would have to push back tomorrow's stream a bit. Tomorrow's stream might end up being... I expect it to be maybe about an hour later than normal. And I do apologize for that. I don't like postponing streams, but I'm basically gone the entire day tomorrow. Like, I'm leaving the house at about 6 AM and coming back at, like, a point possibly past where I would normally go live. So possibly past 11 PM. Which is why I have to push the stream back. But yeah, I do still want to stream. There's no way I'm missing out on a Last Defense Academy stream. It will happen, even if it's gonna be a bit late. Which one I choose? I chose the top like a billion times, yes. Ain't that interesting? Doing plant nothing anyway, fair enough. Fair enough, well I do hope you have a good time tomorrow at the very least. That's the plan. Read the message. Why? Because it's more name drops? Do I really have to read it because it's more name drops? Jumbo Puff has a final phase where you need to kill its heart before getting thrown up. The game over is Jumbo Puff shoving your character up its butt. This game is 12+. Why did I need to know this? Why did I need to know this, Kirill? Tell me, why? Health bar concept for Phase 1 Sakuroma. I end up going with the top one, though a lot of it had to be shaved off at the bottom. Scrapped health bar concept for Insation. Scrapped health bar concept for Phase 2 Sakuroma. Very scrapped health bar concept for Atrocian. Another scrapped health bar concept for Sakuroma. Scrapped health bar concept for Azurius. A health bar concept for Insation. We went with this one after shaving off a lot of its extra features. Various health bars for Hive Mind. I ended up going with the top one after we shaved off some features. Gee, what a surprise there. A scrapped health bar concept for Hive Mind using her stained glass windows as a reference. Maximum lore, might as well take any and all lores, including ones you really didn't want to know. I guess so. Suggestive content. Ah, this screen. The original suggestive content disclaimer added to Versus Retro in the 1.5 update. This was added to the people complaining about Sakuroma's random appearance in part 1 with no warning. This game is like what? What's the age rating for FNF? 16+, I think? I'm not sure. It's about fucking. The game is about the sex. Don't complain about the incarnation of lust appearing in a mod. Stupid FNF kids. Hate them. The original flashing lights disclaimer screen with the original pixel icons for the Infernalings. This was one of the only things my sprite artists did when they joined at the tail end of Part 1's release. They would then go on to make sprites for over half of the entire roster in Part 2. It's an accurate quote though. That is literally what this game is about. You literally get the two main characters fucking at the results screen if you do well. A concept showing difficulty rating for each song. The idea was scrapped since we couldn't figure out a place to put them in the new menu, and having to make ratings for so many different songs and difficulties wasn't worth our time in my opinion. Senpai talks about nuts. Yes, he does. An early concept for the character select when choosing a song and the character in story mode. This was a bit of leftover code from Part 1's character should select. A scrapped concept for categorizing certain songs with certain groups. Top would have been Infernadize, left would have been IPU, right would have been Ace-related stuff, and bottom would be the return. I decided to scrap it since we wanted more categorization than just 3, which is what the side stories menu became. The original character select in Part 1 originally was going to be in Part 2 as well, but the entire thing was reworked when we overhauled the menu for Part 2. A very early concept of Part 2's menu. Mods with custom menus always interested me, and I wanted my mod to have that. I didn't want the mod to feel like a reskin of a different game. I wanted to feel like an original game. After thinking of some ideas, this one ended up being scrapped for what you see in the mod now. Reminds me of Cassette complaining about the design in this mod being suggestive. Again, if it is a game where the entire plot revolves around the player character wanting to fuck his girlfriend and even accomplishing said goal on a good results screen, then why would you complain about suggestive content? Probably don't know what those words mean. It's kind of like adult jokes and cartoons that will completely go over their head. A bit easier to notice. Either way, kids are stupid. Kids are very stupid. Indeed they are. Someone will mod all this cut content back in. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. But it would be a lot of work. I'm not sure if people would be willing to put in that much work, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. Here, Senpai does indeed talk about... Yes, he does. We're just talking about how stupid FNF kids are. A character select concept I made way early on in Part 1's development before its initial release. Ignore Markiplier. How can I ignore this gorgeous man? A more finished version of the scrap categorization concept seen earlier. A scrap menu concept for selecting characters and then choosing their playable sprite or their fun size version. A semi-scrapped achievement menu concept. This menu basically turned into what our free play menu is in Part 2 today. Another concept for the menu overhaul in Versus Retro Part 2. I wanted a sort of comic book style menu, since I really like thick line dividers and felt it would fit the aesthetic of our mod. The story mode panel was carried over to the full ass mod, but the other panels were scrapped. Never ignore Markiplier, exactly. Speaking of, I really want to play Markiplier Montage, the update, the version 2 update. Markiplier Montage was such a fun FNF mod, even though it was pretty short. So it getting a V2 is amazing, and I do want to get around to it, potentially next week. Look forward to it. Back to driving. Yeah, you better focus on that, rather than the stream. We'll clearly see the death screen that shows BF's balls. Yeah, kids are idiots, again. You in for a treat? Oh, I'm sure I am. Sketch concept for the second main menu in part 2. Classic mode was going to be all the legacy content with old dialogue, Retro V1, Saku V1, etc., but we replaced it with achievements and moved legacy content over to side stories. Everything else on this menu was basically unchanged in the final product, however. Another menu concept for Part 2's first menu. Originally, free play was going to be the second option in the first menu, but me and the team put so much time and effort into some of the side stories that we were worried a lot of people would miss them if it wasn't on the first page. So I put side stories on the first menu and moved free play to the second menu. Red light, still focus on driving. A more refined version of our second menu. Classic mode was changed to trophies, and then eventually achievements/unlocks. I also didn't like how everything was inside these boxes, as it felt very constricting. So we made it so when you hover your mouse over one, that panel pops up and had some motion to it. I'm really happy with the final result. Are you going to see Iron Lung? I kind of want to. I would have to... You know what? I have to check if it's in any theaters near me. Also, I have to check if it is in any theaters near me, if they air it in English. Because the last thing I would want to hear is some kind of German dub over Markiplier's voice, instead of getting the glory that is Markiplier's voice himself. Like, dubbing over Markiplier feels like a crime. So I have to find it in a theater near me where it does in fact air in English. That is a requirement. Horror movie person, but I gotta since it's in Canada now. I'll have to look into it. Again, I'm also not much of a horror movie person, but it's Markiplier. I mean, come on. Again, it is Markiplier, and that is enough to have me be interested. A very early concept of the options menu. Those rig would be right in your face and the options would scroll horizontally. I decided against this, since the amount of options in the mod would take too long to go through sideways. Don't need a movie about it. I don't care about the game. I care about Markiplier. No friends who like horror movies? Well then, you're going with the right crowd. You're going for Markiplier, and your friends are going for the horror. Great stuff. Another sketch concept for the options menu. This was what our options menu would eventually turn into. I personally like the tabs idea, and I'm not sure why we ended up not doing it. Oh well. A near final concept of what our options menu became. Those we would change expressions or features depending on the option we selected. The idea for the web pages wasn't mine, but I thought it was funny, so I let the programmers keep it in. Sketch concept for the archive/gallery menu. Since Dozrig oversaw the options submenu, I thought it fit Azurius best if you had an archive section, and Hivemind best if you had a gallery section. This also uses a different outfit for Azurius, which was doodled by a friend a few years ago as a request. I came up with the idea for these submenus to have slightly different versions of the music. Just for MadPet, since he voice acted Toy Barney. I actually haven't watched it, but I assume if I watched it in a German theater, it'd be hard to find an English version. And I would only watch the FNAF 2 movie for MadPet voicing Toy Barney. I've heard very mixed things about FNAF. FNAF 1 movie already had mixed reviews. But for FNAF 2 I heard a lot more stuff of this movie is just pure chaos and nobody is sure if it really works well as a movie. At least that's what I've heard. I could be wrong. Early sketch concept for the staff roles as credits during the final song in story mode. What's funny about my Dab Battle remix is it's the perfect length for the amount of P2 dev team members we had. The scroll speed wasn't too slow or too fast. This made using it for the final credits song work out really well. Early sketch concept of the pause menu, loosely based off a skull resembling Nightflate. Originally you would have to press the button on the forehead to cycle through options, but the team had mixed opinions on it, so we eventually settled on just having the static list of the options instead. Early sketch concept of the first main menu. We took a panel from a different concept and merged it with this new one. Then the artist that finished the piece fit the art style into all of it together. This was technically done by 3 different artists, but it ended up working out really well. Early concept for the free play menu. A lot of this would carry over to the final version, but we removed some ideas like the song count, since I personally don't like it when games tell you how much is left when I'm playing through it. I prefer things like achievement percentage when it comes to tracking your progress through a game. Early sketch concept for the Icebreaker 1.75 update mod showcase thumbnail on YouTube. Scrapped sketch concept for the Icebreaker 1.75 update mod showcase thumbnail on YouTube. This one looked like he was drowning in snow and a little goofy, so I asked for another version, which is the previous one in this gallery. Early sketch concept for the vs. Retro Part 2 album art for Spotify, iTunes, etc. The idea for this was based on the character selection from Mega Man 1. I decided we'd do 2 discs and put the spoiler characters on the second one here. Disc 1 concept for the vs. Retro Part 2 album art. Once the sketches were done, the artist pixelated them to give them that classic retro screen select feel. The characters are also in the same position as they are in the main story mode menu. I also wanted them all to pop up out of their frames a bit and interact with each other. Nice. Heard some very conflicting opinions. Some people either love it or despise every fiber of it. That's what mixed stuff, games, movies, etc. is about. Yeah. Try, see how it goes. Maybe it will appeal to you, maybe it won't. Fair. We had Toy Bonnie redubbed in Russian, erasing the mat pad. I mean, he'd be redubbed in any language erasing the mat pad, which is annoying. Also, the theater turned all lights during the post-credit scene. Ooh, that's annoying, having lights on too early. Oh my god, we did it! We did it! Now there is one more thing we have to do. As you can see, I'm missing 3 achievements. And I'm about to obtain them. I hope. Yep. Lore. I unlocked more lore. Familiar face. Fernandized Watchkeeper. Unlock every achievement and 100% it. Oh, and there's more dialogue for that too. Oh wow, there was actually an achievement, huh? Not bad, kid. I admire your determination. Ahem. What happens now? They've exhausted all your dialogue. Will you be departing? I could, but nah. I'll stick around in case they want to hear these again. Wonderful. Hey, could be worse. I could have had 100 variations to sit through for some achievement nobody cares about. I guess that's true. Well, until next time then. You know what? And while I'm here, I will play the song again. Whoever's playing this, good luck on the next chapter. Oh, and make sure to look both ways before crossing the street. Good job on getting this achievement. Hope you had fun. I know it's not the hardest one in the mod. Felipe's got that one covered. That horse owes me some money. Kick his butt for me, will you? Already did. Way ahead of you, Sans. Till next time.
3, 2, 1, go.
I know, they make like a little squeaking sound if I'm not mistaken, right? I don't think he knows of my trials and tribulations. I don't think he knows that me talking to him gave me the last achievement of the mod that I was missing. I don't think he knows that he was the last step to completion. See you on the PC? Glad to know you made it home. Now eat your snackies. All of them. Maybe we get this achievement last. Fair. There are a lot of achievements that are harder than just exhausting Sans' dialogue. And after this, we'll have to go back to lore one more time. Yeah, Felipe is already dead in the background. I should kick his ass again, shouldn't I? Felipe was actually one of the last achievements I needed. Again, as I said earlier, because you can only get the achievement for him crashing the game if you play his song on a lower difficulty. And again, I refuse to ever lower the difficulty. I refuse to ever lower the difficulty at any point. I only found out about the fact that he crashes the game when I saw someone else play the mod. So, and they played Felipe on a lower difficulty, and then it crashed. And I was like, oh, so that's how I get that achievement. I had no way of figuring that out without seeing someone else do it. Just burn the water. How did you burn the water? Wait, no, not here. The Watcher. There we go. It's in game. Start doing random shit, expecting something to happen. Fair. Again, I got most of the achievements by just playing through the mod the first time and getting all the check marks, right? Getting all the check marks and all the songs because I 100%ed all the story content. That gave me most of the achievements. And then I looked at the achievements and it had descriptions as well for kind of stuff that you need to do. Alright, look. I'd say this looks like Morse code, but the weird thing is it's too many dashes in a row always, right? It's like either one dot and then only dashes, or it's only dots or only dashes. This doesn't, it kind of looks like Morse code, but it looks off. Right? It's not just me. It's either only dashes, only dots, or like one dot leading into only dashes. That can't be... That can't make any kind of logical, like, lore stuff, can it? But if someone can figure out what this means, I'd be happy to know. Yeah, maybe once you translate the Morse code, it's a different code. What do I know? I thought that was something I won't spoil. Time to pull MatPat out of retirement. Yes, get him in here. Okay, that was the last bit of lore. Someone who's smarter than me, please figure that out. Again, in case anyone wants to know, you can use this, you can use my stream to see this entire thing. Like anyone who wants to figure this out and doesn't want to 100% the mod, feel free to look at the stream board to get the entire thing. I'll scroll down once more so people can check out the entire thing. And anyone who's able to figure this out, please let me know. I have a Discord. If anyone knows someone who has figured this out, please share. There, so you can see the entire bottom bit as well. Make shit up or grab one of those cyber websites. Release part 2 source code to the public? We shall never know in that case. Oh yes, have another look. Completed all achievements. Look at that. Absolute cinema. I'll also go through here so you can have a look at all the different icons for it. Because I'm pretty sure you couldn't see all of them before. So many achievements. Just Sans' face down there. Update, they added 10 more achievements right after you got all the achievements. There will not be a part 3, and I assume there will not be any more updates that add more achievements as well. If there's gonna be any more updates, it's just gonna be hot fixes. Also, can I just say I really like the last we discussed. Ugh. There is some nice icons, some nice art here in the achievement menu. But I do like being a completionist, by the way. Clearly a title I've earned at this point. Save file or copy of it locked in a vault or something. Oh, trust me, I never uninstall, almost never uninstall any mods. I do it when there's a big update, then I sometimes get rid of the old version. Not always, but sometimes. And, what else? Right, if it's the purest, absolute shit show that doesn't deserve to exist. Like, even bad mods I keep normally. Only if they're the most horrid things to ever exist, then yeah, they have to go. Are you proud of it though? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if I should be proud. But we are now done. Also, by the way, since I do have to wake up early tomorrow, chat, I would actually like to have today's stream be a little bit shorter than normal. Yes, actually ending before the 3-hour mark today. However, we're just barely over 2 hours. I think it's only fair if we go a little bit longer. Hey, what did I do? Is it because of the completionist statement? The true bloatware. I consider that there is a small chance that your PC says fuck you and starts becoming unstable and you get a new PC, might as well keep it safe, because if you don't, that's like 30 hours worth of stuff gone to onto Ash. So what if I lose 30 hours worth of content? So what? So yeah, how about we replay like 1 or 2 songs from this mod, and then 1 or 2 songs from Code Mix. I feel like that's fair, and then we'll wrap things up for the day. What to replay is the question, though. Okay, I feel like we have to finish with Extirpation, right? But what else should we replay? Maybe Overtime? The last retro song you play is your favorite? I mean, Extirpation is really, really, really good, can I just say. I like the trip down memory lane, which is why I want to finish with it. First to make an FLP of the song before someone else does, damn. Alright, I think we'll play Overtime. Alright, pick your boyfriend. I have everything unlocked. Everything. I'll leave the choice up to you. Pick your boyfriend and girlfriend. Pride BF? You got it. We'll be doing Pride BF. And then the hottest GF. What is the hottest GF? Golf Sakuroma, maybe? I don't know. What do you consider hot? We have Night Flade too. Saku? Yeah, but which one? We have regular flavor Sakuroma or golf flavor? I think golf matches the Pride color scheme more. Right? I think so. Golf Mommy. Golf Sakuroma it is. Alright, Overtime. What's the difference? I guess you'll see. She has the different outfit as a goth, also because people told me.
Give me an IPU.
There she is in the outfit. She stole Geoff's outfit, and she's rocking it. It's a miracle she hasn't eaten it yet. I have barely any warm-up, by the way. I've just been reading for this entire stream, and then played Manifest one time. And then I throw myself in the deep end by playing Overtime. Also, hi Catamans, hello. Yikes. Sometimes I forget how much of an endurance contest this song is. Everything hurts. How are you? Doing well. But the shades did help, thank you. Okay, had the biggest episode of my life 5 minutes ago? What kind of episode? What are you talking about? But yeah, I am doing well. I think. I finally finished this mod. I have all achievements unlocked, all the check marks. I am done. Donezo. I also read all of the lore and all the gallery comments. I have done it all, except for beating Apocalypse difficulty, which is, I will say, from my point of view, impossible to beat. Maybe there is some kind of god out there who can do it, but from my point of view, Apocalypse difficulty is literally impossible. View that as a challenge if you want. Just Insomnia and some other stuff. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Yikes. And mod with health drain on every song. Every mod with health drain. Good. You know what? This one too. Alright, let's select a different boyfriend. Heartache is definitely another one that I really liked. So we'll do this and then we'll go for the death song. Here. Okay, that does sound like next level stuff. Jesus. Like Last BF? You know what? Let's go for him. I guess we will go for him. He's the default on the song anyway, isn't he? Well, I'll make extra sure to select him.
Three, two, one, go.
I won't break your heart.
I'll fix it.
Alright. A lot easier compared to the finger breaker I just suffered through. And then I don't pay attention. Shame. Shame on me. Smash? Yes. I mean, she is the infernaling of lust for a reason. Ooh. Shout out to that one achievement where you have to spend over 3/4 of the song having your screen covered in pheromones. Again, a vast majority of the song, you have to have your screen covered in pheromones in order to get that achievement. That was a fun one. Intentionally taking away all my visibility. All to get the sensory overload.
Give in to temptation.
All right, one more. And we all know which one that's gonna be. All right, which boyfriend? Should we become the Sakuroma? Or should we be... You know what? It would be a shame not to, right? Neon, Spinne, we can all agree. It would be a shame not to. Use the opportunity. And then with a bang, we have to be Izzy. Here we go. Peak song incoming.
3, 2, 1, go. Well, look at you.
This was another one where the achievement was something I never would have gotten on a first playthrough. I think to get the achievement on this song, you have to hit the mines like 15 times, I think? Yeah, I think 15 times you have to hit the mines and still survive to the end. And I never really hit the mines that much. So I obviously wouldn't have gotten the achievement the first time around. I guess it would be kind of funny, you're right. But again, Azurius, come on. Let's see if I can finish this mod off strong. Alright, get ready. Here come the references. All achievements first try without even knowing about the achievements, you mean? That would require insane luck as well. Also literally impossible to get all achievements on the first try. Because for Felipe you have to play the song twice. Once on a lower difficulty to crash it, and once on the highest difficulty to get the achievement for clearing it on that difficulty. Alright, see ya! And thank you! Okay. This really is such a trip down memory lane, isn't it? Absolute cinema. Agreed.
Results conclusive. Ta-ta.
Yes, they are. Weren't you there for our massive lore reading session? Yes, Retro has always stated he loves it when, you know, mods interact with each other, and he considers all the mods that are referenced either here or in Mixter's Bar to be canon to this. Both the ones referenced here and the ones referenced in Mixter's Bar are canon to this. That has been mentioned in the lore many, many times. That isn't even a question. That is the case, the truth. But yeah, I was doing a lot of reading. But yeah, that was a nice little send-off for RetroSpecter. Now, I did say, before I wrap it up too soon, that I would go ahead. I'll have a little extra map pad, fair enough. I would go back and do a little bit of code mix before we end things for the day. Just, you know, to add a little bit of something nice at the end. Also, hello, Blake. Let's go with something chill. Peace lies? What is that? That's an engine. Let's go with Darnell. Something chill to start us off.
3, 2, 1, go!
No idea why I needed the no idea why the Darnell mix turned out to be so chill. Christian. Yeah, but still. You wouldn't think that this is just the song where you're just like, yeah, no, we relax. Weekend has the worst songs. Of course, no song is actually bad, but only like one instrumental in one song. Fair enough. I still think the weekend is the weakest. And not the weekend, the Christmas week is the weakest. The sex is here! One's forced to watch for a minute. Only they knew, if only, huh? Alright. I already know with which song I want to finish this off. The question is... what other song are we playing? I don't know. I don't know. Comics will be real. You're scaring me. You're scaring me with some of this stuff. I don't know. I should just pick one. Let's go with the bit crushed one.
3, 2, 1, go!
And I know which song I want to finish with. I already know. The one which I think you might have cooked the hardest on. Base game released week 6. That was a while ago. And when was it that I joined? I know the Garcello mod was around, because I'm pretty sure I played Garcello in my first ever FNF stream. But there wasn't much else back then. Yeah, FNF Soft was another interesting one. Alright, it's time. We're finishing it off with the song that I think Eric cooked the hardest on. And Eric cooked on a lot of these songs. But I just... Again, this one is a classic, and I'll always like it, but... It's time.
3, 2, 1, go!
The fact that you not only do amazing, very fun remixes, but that you can also cook up some originals. Sickness. I was fortunate enough to avoid getting sick. Turns out the headache I developed was just a regular headache. Thankfully. And after about half a day, it finally disappeared. Okay, I'm stupid. I apologize for sucking at this game. Yeah, I mean, again, you wouldn't notice that the timer is fake. I did point it out on my first play. Did I point it out? I think I pointed it out, but I did notice that the timer stopped, obviously, because it hit 0. I did also notice that the name of the game window changes when it happens. Headache from the head trauma? Maybe. Prepare to hit the moment that gives this song its name. Because it's not called hack because of me, but rather because of what happens here. How could I do bad against myself? Who knows? There it is. Oh! Wait! Why does it say missed me? Hang on. It changes? Like it changes when you replay it? Like when I first played the song, the game window changed its name to just saying just Monica over and over and over again. Now now it says just Monica. I completely failed to notice that it changes to missed me? Question mark. And now it's just Monica over and over again. Well, good thing I'm replaying it to figure out stuff I missed. Also, another thing I like about how the story mode plays out in this, like, the week, is, yeah, I'm the typical, like, I'm the opponent, which is, again, you're playing as boyfriend, I'm supposed to be the opponent because it's my week, but on the final song, you get the team up with me, which is after which you can then play as me. Like, the story makes this lead flawlessly into a team up, which is the perfect, like, lead into having me as a playable character. Can I just say how well that all worked out? Oh god, I did that. Damn, I see. Game winner, not the timer. Oh, because I uploaded. Ah, I see. So I didn't point out the timer. I'm sorry. The more I think about this, the more I think that it should have been called hijack instead of hack, but whatever. Hack works. Hack works well. Makes it even more surprising when the hack title isn't because of me. And now that is a good way to wrap up the stream. Again, we're technically still before the 3-hour mark, but I did say that I would probably cut today's stream a little bit shorter because I do have to... I do have a long day tomorrow, which again... let me say it once again for anyone who wasn't here when I said it earlier. Tomorrow's stream will be delayed by approximately an hour, though I can't say for sure it's going to be that exactly. Approximately an hour of delay is what you can expect. But the stream will still happen. Just fair warning about that. So yeah. How about we raid someone? Guys. Who is this Neon Lunarian person who went live? Very weird individual. They seem to also be playing Friday Night Funkin. I guess. You know what? Let's see what this person is like. Let's give their channel a chance, huh? No clue how good they are at FNF or what kind of content they make. But how about we raid? But yeah, everyone, I hope to see you around. Also, I scheduled, of course, the DDLC stream for Monday, and I did say it on Discord there will also be a Genshin stream on Tuesday. So expect those. Genshin is still holding me prisoner to this day. Here's hoping I can escape it one day, but who knows? Who knows when that one day will be. Yeah, in any event, see you all around. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you around next time. And of course, if you're watching this after it's been uploaded to YouTube as a VOD, then your support has also been greatly appreciated. And you know the drill. If you do want to see me live in the future, video description down below, link to my Twitch, stream every Friday for FNF. I also stream on Saturdays, and I stream other days of the week too on a bit more of an irregular basis. In any event, that's it from my end. See you around. Have a good one, and goodbye. See ya.